Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever, really thought about how fast robotics is moving? I mean, truly expanding. Today, we're diving into something pretty extraordinary. The global smart robotics market.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
We're looking at the growth, the innovation, what's actually happening across the globe. And we've got some really interesting insights here from a recent market analysis. So our mission for you today, basically a shortcut to getting up to speed on where smart robotics is right now, where it seems to be going, and honestly why it matters to all of us. And just to clarify, when we say smart robotics, we mean robots with advanced AI, machine learning, sophisticated sensors. They can adapt, learn, do complex stuff on their own.
And what's really striking here is just how dramatic the projections are. I mean, this isn't just, steady growth. It feels more like an explosion.
An explosion, yeah.
It's reshaping industries incredibly fast. Just to give you a sense of the scale,
Yeah.
the global market was valued at just over $16 billion back in 2021.
Okay, 16 billion.
By 2025, that's expected to more than double. We're talking nearly 40 billion.
Right.
And then, hold on, by 2033, it's projected to soar to a staggering $227 billion.
227 billion, that's huge.
It really is. And that kind of acceleration, it's driven by a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of almost 24.6%. Really impressive.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This steep climb isn't just a global average, right? It's happening sometimes even faster in specific regions.
Exactly. And understanding that regional breakdown, it really shows you where the investment hubs are, where the innovation's bubbling up.
So where should we start this regional tour?
Well, let's kick off with the clear leader, the one showing incredible momentum, the Asia-Pacific region.
We get APAC.
Yeah. Their numbers really tell a story. They started around $8.4 billion in 2021.
Right.
By 2025, that's projected to jump to over $20.6 billion.
Okay.
And then by 2033, it just skyrockets to an amazing $123.8 billion.
Whoa, over half the global total projected for 2033.
Pretty much. And that comes with a CAGR of just over 25%.
That's an incredible lead. And I guess within Asia-Pacific, some countries must be pushing that growth harder than others.
Oh, absolutely. China, as you'd probably guess, is a massive force. They're expected to go from about $2.6 billion in 2021 to nearly $38.7 billion by 2033.
What's driving China specifically?
A lot of it is their huge manufacturing sector. Plus, strong government pushes for industrial automation and AI.
Makes sense.
Japan's also seeing major growth, moving from just under $1.3 billion to over $17.2 billion. They're really focused on high-precision industrial robots and service robots, too.
Okay.
But the real standout, in terms of the rate of growth, the CAGR, that's India.
India, really?
Yeah. They started smaller, about $1.3 billion in 2021, but they have the highest CAGR at almost 26%, projected to hit over $21.5 billion by 2033.
Wow, nearly 26%. Why such explosive growth there?
Well, it seems to be a mix of things. A huge talent pool in AI and software, for one. Plus, they're adopting robotics faster now in logistics, healthcare, even agriculture. Smart drones are becoming a thing there.
Fascinating. So it's not just manufacturing.
Right. And we also see strong growth in South Korea. They're looking at over $10.5 billion by 2033. Australia, over $4.1 billion. Singapore, around $3.6 billion. And Southeast Asia as a whole region shows significant growth, too.
That's really interesting, that mix of factors driving India. Okay, let's shift focus. What about North America? What's the picture there?
North America is definitely a major player, a really strong position. The market there was about $3 billion in 2021.
Okay.
Expected to hit nearly $7 billion by 2025, and then climb up to over $37.7 billion by 2033.
And I'm guessing the United States is the main engine here with Silicon Valley and all that. What kind of applications are pushing it?
You're spot on. The U.S. leads the way in North America. Their CAGR is around 23.3%, projected to go from roughly $2.4 billion in 2021 to over $30 billion by 2033.
30 billion. And the applications.
A lot of it seems to be in logistics and warehouse automation. Think Amazon warehouses, but smarter. Also robotic process automation, RPA in offices, and increasingly smart surgical robots in hospitals.
Right, those high-value areas. Optimizing supply chains, improving healthcare.
Exactly. Things that are, pretty critical. Canada's also showing solid progress, moving from about $373 million to over $5 billion by 2033. And Mexico from just over $200 million to nearly $2.6 billion.
And for Canada and Mexico, Is it similar drivers?
It seems more focused on boosting manufacturing efficiency, using robotics to expand their industrial base.
Got it. So a strong focus on high-value applications in North America. Now, Europe,
hmm
we often think of Europe being strong in tech. How are they doing in this smart robotics race?
Europe's showing really robust, steady expansion. Their market was about $2.3 billion in 2021,
Oh, yeah.
rising to over $5.3 billion in 2025, and projected to hit over $29.3 billion by 2033.
Still very significant growth.
Definitely. And what's kind of interesting about Europe is their particular strength in collaborative cobots.
Ah, yes, the ones that work alongside people.
Exactly. And also in really advanced industrial automation, especially for like specialized manufacturing.
That's a good distinction. So which European countries are really leading the charge there? Maybe with their own specialties.
Well, Germany, being the industrial powerhouse it is set to reach over $6.1 billion by 2033. Very strong focus on highly integrated factory automation, Industry 4.0 stuff.
Right, Germany makes sense.
The UK is close behind, actually, projected at over $4.3 billion. They seem driven by innovation in AI and particularly service robotics.
Okay.
France is also a big player, nearly $4 billion projected, leveraging strengths in like aerospace and defense applications for robotics.
Interesting niche.
Yeah. Then you have Italy around $2.6 billion and Spain over $2.5 billion, both seeing growth in manufacturing and logistics. Sweden is also on a strong path, projected over $2 billion. They often lead in areas like sustainable robotics, intelligent material handling.
So quite diverse across Europe.
Very much so. And you also see solid contributions from places like Denmark, Switzerland, Russia. It's a varied landscape.
It's really clear this isn't just a few tech hotspots driving everything. It feels truly global now, touching every continent. What about regions like South America, the Middle East, and Africa? Are we seeing similar kind of explosive growth patterns there too?
Exactly, yes. We are seeing really robust expansion in these, significant emerging regions as well. It really shows how widespread this adoption curve is becoming.
Okay, give us some highlights.
So South America's market is expected to total over $15.7 billion by 2033.
15 billion.
Yeah. Countries like Brazil looking at nearly $5.9 million, and Argentina over $3.2 billion seem to be using smart robotics a lot for like agricultural efficiency and resource extraction.
Okay, playing to their strengths.
Right. Then the Middle East projected to reach over $11.1 billion by 2033. Saudi Arabia is a big part of that, around $2.9 billion. Lots of investment there in smart cities, big infrastructure projects, and oil and gas automation.
Makes sense for the region. And Africa.
Africa's market is also growing significantly, projected over $9.4 billion by 2033. South Africa is leading there, over $4 billion expected, and Nigeria at over $1.4 billion. The focus seems to be often on mining, logistics, and increasingly healthcare applications.
He really is everywhere then.
It is. And, if we sort of connect all these dots, step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What we're really seeing is, well, it's much more than just market growth. It's like a fundamental reshaping of industries all over the world.
Reshaping how?
It's driven by constant innovation, ongoing tech advances in AI and sensors, and just strong, targeted investment money flowing in both in developed countries and, importantly, in developing economies, too.
Right.
So it's not just about, like, faster assembly lines anymore. It's about those smart surgical tools improving how well patients do, or autonomous delivery vans changing logistics, or AI tools changing how we learn, how we live. The whole story is about increasing automation intelligence.
So when you boil it all down, what does this really mean for us? We've just done this whirlwind tour through the numbers, the drivers, and it's absolutely crystal clear. Smart robotics is in this powerful, transformative phase. That overall CAGR, almost 24.6%. That really signals an exciting time where automation, AI, sophisticated robotics are just becoming, well, totally integral to the global economy. Hopefully you listening feel a bit more clued in now about the scale and the dynamics of this really exciting future that's unfolding.
Yeah, and this raises a really important question for you to think about. As this smart robotics boom continues, as it gets deeper into more and more sectors, how might it fundamentally change, say, the nature of work or the efficiency of our cities, or maybe even just daily life? How might it change things in just the next 10 years right there in your own corner of the world?
Something to definitely mull over. That's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring. Okay, let's unpack this. If you just think for a second.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where this really advanced automation, AI, and, super connectivity aren't just ideas.
Right.
They're actually out there right now reshaping how industries work all over the globe. That's basically the world of the smart robotics market we're jumping into.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, our goal really is to cut through all the hype, all the noise,
Yeah.
and give you a kind of shortcut to understanding what's really driving this market. We'll look at the incredible growth, but also the real challenges.
Hurdles.
The hurdles, yeah. And the big trends that are defining where it's all headed.
We've really sifted through a lot of material for you here, trying to pull out the most important bits of knowledge, the key insights. The idea is you walk away feeling informed, maybe you learned a few surprising things, get those aha moments.
Definitely.
Without feeling totally buried in tech speak. Because honestly, it's a fascinating area.
It really is. So first off, what's fueling this huge surge in smart robotics? Well, at its core, it seems to be this massive demand for automation. That's the big engine, especially across major industries.
That's such a key point. Because when we talk manufacturing or logistics, even automotive, companies aren't just trying to be more efficient anymore.
No, it's more than that.
They're using intelligent robotics to cut labor costs, sure, but also to get this level of precision, this consistency that frankly wasn't possible before.
Exactly.
We're seeing AI-powered robots doing more than just the repetitive stuff. They're spotting problems, preventing errors before they happen.
That's the smart part kicking in.
Yeah, it's moved way beyond simple automation. These were smarter, much more adaptive systems now.
And that adaptability is crucial because that smarter element, that's what's letting them, break out in just the factory setting.
Okay.
If you look at the wider picture, their move into healthcare, into various service sectors, that's where things get really revolutionary.
Right.
Intelligent robots are genuinely changing patient care, providing super precise support in surgery, helping out with elderly care.
I'm curious, when you look at healthcare specifically, what was one application that sort of jumped out at you from the sources? Because it feels like it's going way beyond just basic tasks.
Oh, that's a good question. What really struck me was just how specific their roles are becoming.
How so?
Well, we're talking disinfection robots that clean hospital rooms all by themselves.
Wow.
Or rehabilitation aids that provide really consistent physical therapy. Even diagnostic assistants that can flag potential issues on scans with, amazing accuracy.
They're not just tools anymore.
Not at all. They're becoming really integral to how hospitals and care facilities operate. They handle complex medical tasks with a consistency and accuracy that, really boosts the level of care.
And behind all this, obviously, are these huge leaps in AI and sensor tech. That's where the smart really comes from, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not just that they have computer vision, for instance.
Right.
It's the advances in things like real-time semantic segmentation. That lets a robot tell the difference between, say, a surgical tool and a tiny blood vessel in just milliseconds.
Okay, that's critical for precision.
Exactly. Or think about machine learning. We're seeing robots that can actually self-optimize how hard they grip something based on feedback from the material itself.
Which was a huge problem before.
A massive hurdle, yeah, even just 5 years back. Yeah. These technologies allow for real-time decisions, adapting on the fly to changing situations. It fundamentally changes how capable they are, how reliable.
It can't all be smooth sailing. Every big tech wave hits some resistance, right? There must be some serious hurdles for smart robotics, too.
Oh, definitely. And a huge one is just the cost, the initial price tag. Plus, worries about the return on investment. That's a big barrier, especially if you're a smaller or medium-sized company, an SME.
Right, the little guys.
Yeah. The sheer cost of getting the hardware, the complex software, integrating it, training or hiring people who know how to run and maintain them, it's a lot.
It adds up quickly.
It does. And many businesses, particularly those smaller ones, they understandably hesitate without seeing really clear proof of the long-term payoff.
And it's not just the money up front, is it? There's also the technical complexity involved.
Exactly. These aren't plug-and-play devices usually.
No.
They need specialized programming, ongoing maintenance. And getting them to work smoothly with the systems a company already has, maybe older systems, that can be a real nightmare.
Interoperability issues.
Precisely. Imagine trying to get, a brand new AI robot arm from vendor A to perfectly coordinate with an older conveyor belt from vendor B.
Yeah, sounds tricky.
It can lead to costly integration problems, maybe even production delays that could seriously disrupt things, especially where precision is key.
And then there are the wider issues, beyond just the tech and the cost.
Right. The regulatory side, ethical questions, they're definitely part of the conversation.
Like what specifically?
Well, think about autonomous robots. Who's liable if something goes wrong, if there's a malfunction?
Good question.
Data privacy is another big one, especially with robots collecting information. And then, of course, the whole issue of workforce displacement.
Yeah, that's always there with automation.
It is. And adding to the uncertainty is the fact that regulations aren't really standardized across different countries or regions.
So it varies a lot.
Hugely. A company trying to use, say, those disinfection robots in hospitals across Europe and the US, they face totally different rules, different certification hoops to jump through.
Which must slow things down.
Significantly, even when the benefits seem really clear.
Okay, so we've got these powerful drivers pushing things forward, but also some pretty significant roadblocks. Still, the market isn't standing still. What are the big trends shaping the future?
Well, one of the most exciting trends, I think, is the rise of collaborative robots. Cobots, okay.
Right.
These aren't your typical industrial robots locked away in cages. They're designed specifically to work safely right next to human workers, sharing the same space.
Wow, okay. That's a big shift, isn't it? It suggests the future isn't just robots replacing people.
Exactly.
But creating these, like, hybrid workspaces.
Yeah.
Where humans and machines work together.
That's the idea. Flexible, efficient, hybrid workspaces where each side boosts the other's strengths.
Interesting. What else?
Another huge trend is deeper integration with the Internet of Things, IoT, and cloud platforms.
Right. Connectivity.
Smart robots hooked into these networks can share data constantly, in real time, not just within the factory, but potentially globally.
What does that enable?
Things like remote monitoring, so you can see how robots are doing from anywhere. Predictive maintenance.
Where the robot tells you it needs fixing before it breaks.
Precisely. And centralized control over potentially huge fleets of robots. If you zoom out, this massively increases the overall intelligence, the operational efficiency, and it's absolutely key for managing large-scale deployments, maybe thousands of robots.
Okay. And finally, are we just talking about the usual industries here, or is it spreading out?
It's definitely spreading. Smart robotics is rapidly moving into sectors where maybe you wouldn't have expected it just a few years ago.
Yeah.
That's opening up enormous new growth areas.
Like where?
Think agriculture. Autonomous systems planting crops with incredible precision.
Okay.
Or construction drones using smart sensors to inspect bridges or buildings. They're proving how valuable and adaptable they can be.
Even in messy, unstructured places.
Exactly. Handling complex tasks in these really dynamic environments just shows how far the capabilities have come.
So, wrapping this up,
Mm-hmm.
what's the big takeaway? It feels like smart robotics are fundamentally changing, well, almost everything. How industries work, how we get services.
Yeah, how machines even interact with the physical world.
It's a really profound shift we're seeing.
It absolutely is. It really changes the technological landscape.
Hmm.
Which leads to the final thought, maybe for you listening.
Mm-hmm.
As these smart robots become more woven into our lives, how will you get ready for that? How might you adapt? Whether it's in your job or just your daily interactions.
Yeah, what new possibilities? Or maybe what new challenges does all this integration bring for us, for society as a whole? Something to think about.